Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I have a very special returning guest with me today. I'm super excited. What if you're new here? My name's Alicia Brashay. This is Cosmic Gateway, and I am joined by the one and only beautiful Cindy. Thank you, Soul Sister, for coming back and being
Thank you.
here.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you for having me. Yeah, this is always so much fun. I love this. Oh,
and it's almost I love how we might go for a few months and where everyone's busy doing their own thing,
yeah.
and it's like simultaneously you and I almost like get the soul self like tapping on the shoulder, like, hey, it's time, you two need to like connect, and then we reconnect and
I know, right? I
all
know it's
this.
like I know it's for me, it's like that poke. You need to talk to Alicia. You need to talk to Alicia. And yeah, exactly. Life goes on. And but yeah, it's like, oh, and then my high self is like, no, you really need to talk to Alicia. So yeah, one of us is opening up the space at some point all the time. So yeah, it's great.
And it's always so timely, and I love how this time, actually literally in the middle of a conversation with a soul brother of mine, he was like, you need to contact Cindy. You know that really lovely lady from Canada that you talk about the. I was like, yeah. He's like, you need to contact. I'm getting told that you need to. So,
Just
of
gives me goosebumps again when you say that. When you said that, I'm like, oh, so
So here we are, and oh my God, we've got so much information and updates to share with you all. This is going to be really potently packed with information, energy, conversation, channeling through. Yeah, I think your higher self wants to speak. I mean, we're going to go into all sorts of places. So I really recommend that if you've enjoyed our previous conversations, um, get settled and get comfortable. I've got my new cup here. It says
so
Dare to
pretty.
Dream. I love it. It's
Yeah,
very,
that's nice.
as my soul sister say, it's very on brand for me. It's all my colors. Get a cup of tea, get a coffee, whatever it is, sit down and enjoy everything that wants to come through. We have some special announcements too. So um, we're going to dive right in. So I guess the first announcement. Very excited. I will be, as I've mentioned before, I will be in the gathering in September in Cripple Creek in Colorado, and guess who will be coming?
Yeah, I literally just booked my flight. Like literally just booked my flight. So haven't, yeah, I'm really excited so that I actually get to meet you in person. And then all the people that I've been following that you've been working with, it's just so exciting to be able to go and take part in that in such a beautiful location. And I watched your podcast with Jenny, who I've never met, but I know she lives in Colorado and was talking about the Colorado mountains. And I don't know, the interview with the talk you guys had, like that, so encoded with so much energy. It was huge. After that, I was driving downtown and I'm like, I need to come back into my body here. Like I'm just outside of myself right now, just feeling everything. And yeah, she was talking about the mountains there in Colorado. And when she was talking about, I can't remember the name of the tribe that lived there, that were the guardians of those mountains. When I was in Wyoming last year around Yellowstone, and when you leave the east side heading into geography, it doesn't matter. Anyways, you come to this range of mountains that are the Rockies, but it's called the Absaroka Mountains. And we came down into this pass and we had to stop. The mountains are they almost look like hoodoos in a desert. With mountain ranges behind them. And when we drove through, it was like centuries on top of the road holding the energy there. And it was so fantastic. So we stopped, um, got out the energy going through there. There must have been, I'm sure there was a portal through there, but I really just felt like the energy of those mountains were holding something so special.
Mhm, mhm,
So
mhm.
then when Jenny was talking about the Colorado mountains and holding that same frequency, I just thought, oh, going there feels like a completion of a journey, something that I started
Ooh,
last year. I'm like, oh, okay, this is whatever I felt there was like sparking something a year later, it was fantastic.
yeah, it's
Uh,
bringing it into some, yeah, full completion. And I feel like that, I'm so glad you brought that up because I think that is going to be part of the process for a lot of us in our own individual ways. So for you, it's like that journey that you took into that sacred space. And I think we've all been preparing for, like, we've been doing our own grid work, our own internal work, and that the frequency of the individuals coming of what they've done previously to get
yeah,
to that.
yes. Bringing that all together, right, in one space. So yeah, whatever frequency is similar that's running through us and bringing that all together into one space. I know it's crazy. Oh, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be quite incredible. And
Mhm.
yeah, I don't have what, like, it's, and so if you feel if you're in the vicinity, if you can make it to Colorado, I will put the details in the description box below of how you can join us in person. But no one misses out. It will be the event will be live streamed, and it's really a really fair price in terms of if you want to come in person or live stream, so that no one really misses out. But
Yes.
it's everyone coming into this culmination point. It feels like it's like a nexus point. It's like this. We've all been doing these grand journeys to come and connect at this point. It's kind of beyond words. It's
Yeah.
like, but I think everyone can
Yeah.
feel the potency of the
Yeah.
frequency.
Yeah. It feels individual, but very collective at the same time, right? Yeah. It's yeah, the energy and yeah, it is very affordable. Sometimes a weekend somewhere, or even the live stream, it can put pressure on a lot of people. So yeah, I love that it's really feels affordable.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. It's very inclusive for, let's face it, I know, and probably everyone watching knows that those who do the greatest work in the world, sometimes like money and prosperity is like a real challenge. And I actually think that that's set up by design.
yeah, yes,
um, and
yeah.
we will cover that a little bit in this conversation, but
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, being able to allow the people who do the greatest work that may not have the greatest means, and that is all going to change. So, but it's like, yeah, giving the level of accessibility to
Yeah,
the people who need to kind of be a part of it, and
yeah,
that minimal exchange is there. So, oh,
yeah. It's like so exciting.
I
Can't wait.
know the countdown is gonna happen so quickly.
Oh,
It's
it
like
is.
each day I'm like, oh God, like that's gonna come. So anyway, looking forward to seeing whoever feels the call to come. But this video, Sandy,
Oh, Alisha.
I feel like in some ways it's a little bit of a matrix release extraction progress update report is a faction of it, and then it's like very much flowing into what's happening in the energetics of the individual, the collective, and how it's impacting things like relationships, abundance,
Yeah,
some discoveries that we made recently.
true. Yes. Yes. Yeah, some big
uh,
things been happening for both of us in that.
yeah, it's been
Yeah.
absolutely huge. So
And I mean, collectively, right? Picking up on that energy. So, yeah.
yeah, it's definitely it's a micro macro, and it's
Hmm.
hopefully this podcast based off what we've been observing in the field in direct relation to this and the other energies at play might help you make a little bit more sense of the craziness and the
Yeah.
nonsensical energies that are kind of taking place. It feels very overwhelming. It feels very chaotic. It feels like very um it's very uncharted territory, I guess, for a lot of us, even our, as I like to say, our well seasoned ascension.
Yeah.
surfers.
Yeah. It's just a whole nother level, I think, of the breaking because it feels more of a breaking through into a clear path more so than breaking through into something that's still a barrier, and so yeah, we're feeling it emotionally and physically and and on those spiritual levels and right. But being able to see that it's a pathway that's wider open than hitting another barrier, not to say stuff doesn't come up because it always comes up, right? But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
a truth really feels like a bigger expansion than, yeah, we've experienced before
Mm.
in this path.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I was thinking about was I think it was in our last I think it was our last video. I don't remember the specific details, or maybe it was the first one, but we were giving as much as I don't like to work with linear time or projections, but sometimes there's rough time frames that are given that can, this is happening in the energetics, and then, it's kind of going to show up in the physical in that time frame. And we were talking about, I think going back, I remember sort of early in the year that this process would kind of it has started and it's going to unravel for the next 12 months, so March to March. And
Right.
we're kind of in the halfway point. We're basically halfway point. And boy, oh boy, is it showing up in the physical. Like,
Isn't it? Yeah, not just yeah, in so many ways, like in relationships a lot,
yeah,
in the way our bodies are processing things.
yeah,
Um, yeah, those sorts of different um factors. Like I've just had a really big change in my personal relationship status, something that I just realized that where my life trajectory was going, I needed that to be different. And so I've had a
mm,
huge personal change, but it also feels like a huge breakthrough too. I don't know why that word keeps on coming through, but that's just what I'm seeing with the energy, So facing that on a personal level, I can understand how it's affecting so many people and even just the indecision of where to move to, because I
mm,
think before we get to that point, we live in so much indecision.
mm.
And then finally making the decision is where the breakthrough happens. It's that indecision part, right? That
Oh,
is,
that just,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's a decision that leaves us in the unknown. And
mm,
once we finally make that decision,
yeah,
we can allow room for that expansion. And
yeah,
there's nothing in me saying that any part of that is easy either, right? But yeah,
mm-mm, mm-mm, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. And maybe I'll just share a little bit of my. I've been laughing at myself so much in the last month or so because I had these epiphany breakthroughs, and I'm like, that was literally the most obvious
right,
thing.
yeah, that's the other thing.
And so I kind of have this breakthrough, and then I'll share it with someone like, yep, that I feel like Alisha, like, hello. But it's like when it lands in a different way, and then it's like you can have an awareness and understanding a concept, and you can know it intellectually. You can know it in the mind of perception, but when it actually lands in the body, that's where the most change happens. It's like, so maybe that's what's been happening. Even as I talk about, it's like I've had all these awarenesses for a long time, and I get it,
Right.
but it's almost like I've created more space with the unraveling that's happening, that energy can actually let. And I'm touching my belly here, like my soul. It's like it anchored into me, so now
Right.
I can actually make the change in the physical, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
And I,
And the way our bodies are designed is, before that anchors in, well, of course, our nervous system is going to go crazy because it's wanting that certainty, right? And it's wanting that knowing. And yeah, before it comes in and lands, that's the static before that. But yeah,
static that's
that
clearing, yeah. I think that's a good place to talk about. But I, I will share this one thing. I've been working for the last couple of months. Like as I've been sharing, I've been doing a lot of grid work that's been around various pod facilities
Right.
on
Hmm.
planet and off planet. This has
Right.
been an ongoing process, but this is literally me being like thrown in a, let's say, an 8 week intensive.
Yeah. Just a little period of time. Yeah.
Every time I thought, I always joke, I was like, anytime I go somewhere, or like if I go somewhere on a holiday or I go to a new location, my human's like, yay, I get a holiday and I can sit by the beach and I can,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I'd said to you when we spoke. I'm like, well, you know, you're going to do work wherever you go. Like, that's just you. So, yeah.
So I have like I guess on the relationship component aspect, for me, literally in the last 6 months has been probably the most tumultuous, ground breaking, catalytic, transformative phase that I think I've ever worked through in my entire life. It's brought up everything that I've looked at and that I haven't looked at, and then looked at again. And there's been such a deep level of reconciliation within myself
Right.
that has been a game changer. And I that's what I was told. It was part of why I was coming here, was to break all the relationship dysfunctional patterns that I've had throughout my life. And well, it got set up way beyond, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it's finally like a massive breakthrough came through in the last week. And I realized that all the energy work that I had been dedicating doing personally and collectively was, it was almost like me, like let's say me and another person, it was like all these energetic layers, yeah, of distorted timeline
Yeah.
reality. So it's like me, my partner, or like two people
Yeah.
in a dynamic, and it doesn't even have to be a romantic partner,
Right.
right? And there's all this like energy of distortion and false timelines, and it's like these, you know, what are the 21 overlays I mentioned in the most, it's maybe not 21, but it's like all these overlays that just wasn't allowing us to connect for various reasons. My own stuff, his, you know, other person's stuff.
Yes.
And my focus was purely on, don't focus on, like focus on moving the energetics to clear the pathway to open up.
Right.
And it worked, but
And it worked.
it was hard work,
Yeah.
and it was a
Yeah.
lot of silence. It wasn't you know, relation,
No,
it wasn't the
one-on-one
usual
thing.
things that we do in relationship of, oh, we're going to talk about it, it was all of it was done in the energetics and in the silence, because that's where all the major obstacles were. And that's, it's taught me a lot, you know.
Right.
And not to say that it's like smooth sailing, but
No. And I also
um
think part of that process too, while we're looking at those energetic layers that are ours and stuff, it's letting go of what the other person is experiencing, right? And that's a really hard part, that, you know, where we have to distance, not so much distance, it's not even distance because you can still have the compassion and the empathy, but it's about not owning what they're going through because their experience is their experience. And like that's a really hard part, hey, to disconnect yourself from wanting to own their stuff too, when it's like, no, I have my own stuff, but you know, it's like, no, I really want to, I want to be in control of their things too. And I think that's part of letting go of that. It's control, letting go of that control of, okay,
yeah,
me, that's all I can worry about is me.
yeah,
And there's a lot of freedom in that, but there's also a lot of panic in that also, you know? So,
totally,
because
totally.
it's way easier to look at somebody else.
Oh my God, totally.
Yeah.
You should be doing X, Y, and Z. And if you, how, you know,
Yeah.
what's that saying? You know,
Yeah.
finger point,
Yeah,
the other person
forefinger, three
three.
point fingers pointing
Yeah,
back. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm. So it's so beautifully said, and I think that's like a big part of it is like doing the energetic cleanup is so important. But the epiphany that I had that is so relatable because yes, it's about, divine coupling. Yes, it's about relationships in general, soul connections, powerful connections that have been, deliberately kind of had, let's say, maybe extra layers of
yes, yeah,
separation or diversion or obstacle. Like, but this morning I was, I guess a shout out to Debbie Dubois. We're gonna. I was texting with her this morning, and all of a sudden I realized that what I had just broken through in the relationship piece, I'm now working through in the project piece, like the my
mm,
highest expression of the projects that I've been working on that I just haven't been able to get traction on. It's the
right.
same energy.
Ah,
And as soon as I went, oh, anything
mm,
of great value that wants to be come into this physical reality literally has these layers of like, I'm trying to find words on it. It's like of barriers. And it's
right.
like, and we just kind of do this spinning thing and we're not actually getting to be able to pierce through to like bring it in like earth it, ground it, birth it.
Grounded. Yeah. 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 And I like the word that you use, distortion, because that's how I see it is right. It's layers of that distortion. And so yeah, that to me feels perfect. And it's it's almost a layer of false reality, right?
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
layer of false reality.
Or many.
Or
Maybe it's not
yeah,
just one.
yeah. I'm thinking individual layers of
Yeah, yeah,
false
yeah, yeah,
reality.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So more than just
which,
distortion or interference, it's actually an overlay.
yeah. And that's what then like feeds into our mind, into our being able to push through those breakthroughs. It's these layers that we just need to be aware of, consciously
Yeah.
aware of, clear, and then, actually have the will to step through. And I think that's going to come into what we talk about. So this pod thing, that's how where it comes back and interconnects because
Yeah.
these pods are literally designed to keep us away from
Well,
bringing
siphoning
out.
our,
Hmm,
yeah, it's siphoning our energy. So it's not only is our siphoning our energy, and then it's putting these overlays on that are the false
oh,
reality
oh.
that aren't allowing us to be our true expression of who we are.
And what we're here to do and create
Yeah.
because most of us are creative beings that have
Yes.
come here to build a new reality. So
Yeah.
if you're an opposing team and there's all these like um like this whole sorry words just keep this whole group of like the A team literally arrive like here we're here to do a job. What are you gonna do? You're gonna
Yeah.
go, oh, let's just put them in 10,000 overlays. Let's just put them in
Yes.
you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
um, and how's that to up the stakes for a creator being to be put into a master level of how to unravel distortion
Oh,
at its highest.
yeah.
I'm laughing, but that laugh comes with tears
With
and anger
true.
and tantrums.
And fair, right? When you actually realize the reality of what has been happening, has happened, is dissolving, but there is that you can't help but feel anger. And I think that actually links into a little bit of our primal rage, right? That kind of
So glad
anger.
you brought, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so glad you brought that up because that's, yeah.
yeah. Because yeah, but like in my work and what I've been seeing, like I'm seeing so much dismantling of pods,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
I know.
Mm.
And it's been tricky because I've seen pods with overlays in pods too,
Yeah.
so people's energy really being fractalized. So it's like, oh, okay, well, so you're in this, but then there's strings of fractalization that is seems wild and seems crazy, but if you think of it, I'm just seeing this prism and the way a prism shines the light through it. And
Mm.
there's just this fractalization. So it's about not just extraction, it's about pulling all those fractals back too.
Yeah, beautifully said.
But then I've also had a really great experience with in a session where we were able to go in and unhook this webbing overlay. And that's, it shows up for differently for everybody, but the webbing and the overlay. And so the pod actually started to dissolve. So what I didn't realize until that point is that energy is being extracted from the pods, but there's still that energetic connection of the pod. And so
Bingo.
it's,
I'm so
yeah,
glad you
it's
brought that up. Yeah.
removing people from the, all the layers, right? All that distortion, all those false reality. And so it's like digging into it and it's like, oh, okay, there's more here to dig into, and there's more here to dig into. And I think as this moves along and more people are coming into the awareness that this is what's happening, it starts to crumble a lot faster, right? Too.
10,000%. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So we've had some, yeah, it's been interesting. That I use that word lightly. It's been pretty freaking wild, to be honest. Let's put it that way. It's just been wild. Oh, oh, yeah.
And I think you articulated that so beautifully and we hadn't even talked about that, but what you just
No,
described, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I've seen too. And I love
I
it
love
when we
that.
can compare, you're seeing the same things that I'm seeing and just
Mhm.
comparing notes. It's and that's what I've got is like, yes, these mass extractions are happening on like exuberant numbers from what you and I've been seeing, but just because you're extracted doesn't mean that there's not a big energy cleanup. It's like
Yeah,
you're free, but then you have to learn to um, deinstitutionalize yourself,
yeah,
energetically speaking, to come back in and go, oh, I am a creator being, I am liberated, removing those false layers of reality. It's literally a cocoon or a webbing that,
you're right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's how I see it too. It's yeah, and with my in that one session in particular, like the webbing went through everywhere in the physical body, so the way that it affects our physical bodies even and just the whole nature of how we operate. Like we talk about our bodies as separate, but like we know that we're symbiotic
Whoa.
creatures,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
just the systems in our bodies that interference actually deregulates is
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it creates a synthetic, um, dysregulated
yeah,
um, nervous system, fascia system. I think you've
yeah,
seen it's like connected into our organs and it's, yeah, it dysregulates us.
yeah, yeah. It really does. So much so. I don't know. Do we? I mean, I just had you just remove something from me, you know.
Do
Um,
you want to go into that? Yeah.
or should we wait? Do you want to?
I don't mind. There's like three threads that we can go into. One is like I mean, we just started talking about the physical body, but you brought up something really important that I want to dive into is that rage.
That rage. Yeah. Okay.
And then
Mm-hmm.
obviously the really profound thing that we just unearthed. I mean, I did a session with you oh my God, having a session with you is like but when you were talking before, it reminded me because obviously this pathway that I've been on the last 6 months around breaking down all my energetic barriers and blockages and patterns and loops around
Yeah.
relationships, and how that's impacted me in this lifetime. like you really were able to find something that was so hidden away from my awareness. And that's where it's so important that you sometimes just need someone that you trust
Yeah.
to support you in that, because you can only get so far on your own, and we're moving into this time where we do need support of someone else that can literally have the consciousness to see
Right.
what's happening. Yeah. So
Right.
I guess it's a unique skill set that you and I have, and I'm sure others are working in it, but it's quite unique, and it's quite important. So thank you for what you do, Cindy. It's quite profound.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Same for you. It's just, and it kind of, well, I'm kind of struggling with my words a little bit, just in the fact that when you like, I believe that, I mean, we all have these innate gifts. And this came up when we first started talking about doing this, just this whole imposter syndrome thing, before. I don't want to go too far, but I mean, so anybody who's listening who thinks that, oh, well, I think I can do that. Well, I think if you have that thought that you can, and so much more, sort of thing. So just, yeah,
Yeah.
imposter syndrome's real, but it doesn't have to be. So yeah, yeah,
And maybe anyone who does this work, I don't know anyone who does this type of work or any sort of conscious creator work, and that can dive into, artists and all sorts of things, because I believe that energy practitioners come in many forms, not just
yeah, me
what you and I
same,
do.
same.
I don't know anyone, not one single person that hasn't had an imposter syndrome that they've had to work through. That's very real, and
Yeah,
it comes with the territory. But I wonder if it's one of false overlays.
yeah.
It just hit like
And then
I don't know if
I
you got
got, I
that
got,
when you
yeah,
said,
I got a chill when you
oh,
said that, actually. I'm like, yeah. Hmm.
mm,
Hmm. Yeah, I,
yeah.
I
Well,
feel
should we
that.
share the most recent discovery that you, you and I unearthed like just a few days ago?
Yeah, I'll let
And I
you
think,
start. Yeah,
yeah, okay, yeah. And I feel like your higher self's like raring to go. So there's
okay.
a lot, yeah. Um, well, first of all, you and I have been chipping away at this, and it's been you get to one layer and then you're like, okay, wow. And then there's another one. It's like how far does but um we've been te we've been teetering around, like maybe connecting and going into a session. Um and one morning I just woke up and I was like, are you available? I need to talk to you. And I had been picking it up in the field a week prior. That's how sometimes things just happen. A
Yeah,
week prior, I know a certain thing that Cindy has struggled with on a physical level, and all I kept picking up was that has to be resolved immediately, and it has something to do with the pods, and it's just like the digestive stuff. I mean, you can share as much as you want, but
yeah.
um,
Um,
eh,
sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
no, jump in.
No, keep going.
So we got on a call. And I was very unprofessional of me. I was told to go out walking to a specific location to do this. It's just not normally how I conduct sessions, that's for sure. But there was a portal that I had to gain access into that was going to give me. And as I connected in, I found this very deeply hidden core is the word I used, a
Mm,
core. But another great word that came through was like almost like a universal plug.
right, right. I never thought of that. Yeah, yeah.
And what it was showing is that that's part of the astral tagging and the hooking in that comes in during a lot of this, I believe, happens while we're in utero. So it's
Yeah,
when our soul spark is trying to land into this physical reality. Talked about this, a lot in various different ways. But if we want to track it back in this lifetime, and obviously it can go into, it happens often while the fetus is forming and the soul's trying to come in, and the frequency gets picked up, detected,
right.
and it's like it's almost like they can read the blueprint of what your soul has chosen to do when it comes in. And it's like, oh, we can't let her.
Right.
That's going to destroy the false, you know.
Yeah.
And so it was like this core that acts as almost like an adapter of a universal plug. So it's like the genesis point, if you will, or the nucleus of and then it's like, and then your birth, and then all the different energetic chords can come in that then fractalize your consciousness into these pod facilities or into these systems and
Right.
structures,
Yeah.
medical, all different institutions, financial. And the further along you go in life, the more chord, because you've got that universal adapter there.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. And then
And
I was just going to say, when you brought up institutions, I think it gets reinforced when you attend a regular school system too, right? Yeah. Oh,
yeah, and these are just all the energetics that get us. And this is how it works. So it's like you have that, and then as you got each sort of institution that you come into contact with will then take more of your consciousness, more of your energy. Your energy is your currency. So we're
yes.
dealing with mass population that has a lack of will, like
Yeah.
desire, will, um, ability to kind of move forward in things that are outside of that system and structure, like to do anything feels like almost impossible, to move mountains. And this like whole collective consciousness of scarcity and poverty consciousness
Yeah.
that we are living in, because there's all these energetic cords that are constantly taking our life
Yeah.
force energy and inhabiting our ability to co-create or create in the way that we know is possible and that we want to do. So it's like extracting, we've been forever like pulling out all these cords, pulling out these cords,
Right.
and all of a sudden it was like, hang on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a sneaky bugger, wasn't
It
it?
was. It was, because not only was there that cord, which we removed, which exposed, what would you say, it exposed my core being? Like, it's, I guess, my divine blueprint.
Yeah.
And
That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that part. You going.
yeah, well, and then it was like, okay, I still feel something blocking my solar plexus in my chest. And I'm like, what do you think that is? Because we were about to finish up, and I'm like, no, 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 I don't. You asked me how I felt, and I thought, well, really, there's still something there. And it was a redundancy system, like an overlay of a
Oh.
redundancy of, okay, well, this can be removed, but we're going to leave something in here just in case it is removed. And then maybe there's opportunity to reattach, because I don't know if it would have guaranteed reattach, but if there's an opportunity, for it to reattach. So
Mm.
yeah, then we remove that redundancy too. So yeah, it was really incredible. Well, I think it's been 3 days now. I have to tell you, so today I was meditating. I wrote this down because I didn't know if we are going to talk about this or not. So I was meditating today, and like everybody, just about, you live in the lack frequency. So much of us live in the lack frequency. And even if your vibration rises, it's still kind of, I've always felt stuck in that bandwidth,
Mm.
So today I was meditating, and I actually saw the prosperity frequency. And it
Oh.
was, yeah, it, how do I know it was a prosperity frequency? Just because I knew, but I saw, what was beautiful is I saw some souls in it, and I saw souls dipping their toes in it and then coming back out and then dipping their toes. And it's all this light bouncing through this frequency that we have access to. So sometimes I've just been hearing this recently, and I'm playing with it a little bit, that like our thoughts, we can, well, we know we can grab other thoughts and other people's energies, so if we're always grabbing from that lack frequency, it's going to keep us in lack. And I'm just seeing this expansion of this prosperity belt now, this prosperity frequency where people are able to hit that. And once you feel the energy of it, it's landing because it's not that we haven't felt it before. It's just we're landing in that frequency now. The like lack frequency like it holds a lot of wealth, but so people who are really wealthy are still living in that lack
I was
frequency,
that, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So because it's the fear of never having enough. It's not the true prosperity of health and wealth and body and spirit and love. And yeah, I just see that expanding. And so as more people begin to remove themselves from the energies that are trapping them, whatever that is, like we see this pod system, but I believe that it's definitely a catapult effect of people are releasing. It doesn't always have to be conscious awareness of releasing, but it's freeing souls. And so as we move more into this prosperity belt, the prosperity belt expands and it pushes down that lack frequency. So it's not
Yeah.
existing. And I see a little bit of discord in there because as that frequency goes down, the prosperity frequency starts to push the lack frequency down. That fear in there is also going to try and expand it, keep itself and expand into it. So I think as this happens, and we're seeing this now with a lot of fear with the economy and the way things are and stuff. So how I'm seeing it or how I saw it today was it's just the lack frequency bouncing back up, trying to spread its fear because it wants to maintain.
Oh, boom. You just, yeah.
It, and it isn't related to any individual because the hope is that every individual in that frequency moves to the prosperity frequency
Correct.
fully and embodies that. Yeah, so that was it was pretty cool. So I just think if now we're aware that that's available, like it's kind of our job, my job. This is how I feel. Now that I'm aware that this available, I'm able to access that, then that's my goal, to be able to access and anchor into
Mm.
an actual feeling of prosperity and like I say, so much more than just wealth. And so this is since
Yes.
Sunday, since we had this session,
Yeah.
it's just like holy, that's moving fast. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And oh my God, this is so exciting. What a
Yeah.
huge thing to share. Cindy.
Yeah. I can wait to tell you.
Just as you're sharing that, I was like, that you've just been able to articulate something that I felt for so long. And I think, yeah, we're in it. This, I've used the word for many years, redistribution of wealth.
Yeah.
And other
Yeah.
words that have come through in sessions is oh, it's just popped out of my head, like a returning of almost soul lineage wealth or ancestral wealth, like an inheritance that's not
Yeah.
an actual, family member passing away. It's a returning of the
Well,
wealth that has been kept from the individual
right.
that is actually rightfully theirs coming back around. And we don't have to place any um thought process of how we tap into that. It's connecting to, you just nailed it. You just connect with that frequency.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It's not a physical, it's an energetic vibration that's available, and
Yeah.
that's the beautiful part. Not that it hasn't been available, but it's been smaller. The belt's
Yeah.
just been smaller, and now it's expanding and again, I use that word too much, not too much, symbiotic, right? Like it's
Mm,
all the work combined, allowing for the expansion
yeah.
of it. So, yeah.
And the more of us that can individually tap into that and utilize that. And you're right too, it's not just about like this, it's
No.
the abundance of
Yeah,
good living, good health,
that's right.
you know,
Joy.
ugh,
and fun. And, that's what prosperity, means to
Yeah.
me more
Oh,
so. It's joy.
yeah. Connection, good like healthy
Hmm.
relationships.
Hmm.
Yeah.
True, authentic. Well,
Yeah.
and not just having authentic relationships, but being able to find that your own authenticity and living from your own authenticity
Mm. Yeah.
to be able to create those authentic relationships.
And just to know that that is available and every person can tap into that. It may
Mm.
not be easy depending on your circumstances, but
Yeah,
if you make that your focus to tap into that frequency within, it will change your life.
yeah, yeah, really well. It gave me chills.
Mm,
Yeah, because it's not like it's accessible to everybody. It's not
mm.
something that's exclusive to
No,
a certain group of people. Like it's accessible for everybody. And the beauty of it is the more that access it, the more it becomes available to that energy, those pathways open up.
it ripples, doesn't it? Yeah.
Ripples, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's also, it goes hand in hand with the organic new harmonic reality and
yeah,
the flipping of conscious. Like it's all connected. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and we can tap into that now. Like I think it's our soul right, not our birthright, but our soul right to
right.
tap into it now, because the more we do it, the more we're doing it for our families, for ourselves, our loved ones, our community, the humanity, to break out
Hmm.
of the chains of what have been,
Well,
I hate to say it, but yeah, imprisonment of,
yeah, bondage.
lack, yeah, lack,
Yeah,
scarcity, fear. Like that is a frequency that and when you're conscious of that in each moment and know that, you can navigate so much better.
yeah, yeah,
Because I know people who are millionaires and just a whole, a lack mentality. It literally, it doesn't matter how much is in your bank account. It's the mindset and the frequency that is operating through you. And how many times have we
exactly.
heard about people who had a lot of money but poor health, or but what we're doing is we're flipping the script and having that frequency that ripples through an abundant living in
Right,
all the areas and all the ways.
right. With the removal of the fear that that lack creates, or the lack creating the fear. I don't know which is which. I think they go hand in hand, but
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
it's yeah, it was really beautiful. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Well, and it was really interesting in that session too. You and I doing that work is I got stripped back so far in history and had.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I went to different points. Like the first place I got taken to was Mongolia, like Genghis Khan times. And I haven't thought too much into why. I was taken to Roman times. I was taken to different points in history. And what that was showing me was an unraveling of, and this, I remember this now. It was an unraveling of my DNA because, we carry the epigenetics
Oh, yes.
of our ancestors. And it was the stripping back of those. I use the term karmic loosely, but the epigenetic imprint of ancestral lineages that were running through my line, or things that I've experienced, however we experience them, whether it be past lives or soul imprints,
Mm,
overlays and stuff. But I was seeing the stripping back of that happening in real time. So, and then you'd said, I mentioned that to you, and you'd said about like, well, that's your true DNA imprint
oh,
coming back online.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's-
Anyone who does this work knows that when you're in,
Yeah.
like, you don't retain. I retain very little. That's why I
Same.
record things
Yeah.
down. But yeah, it's the stripping away of the corrupted biology DNA
Yeah.
template to restore the soul frequency DNA, which
Yeah.
it's a frequency that then changes our biology too, doesn't it? Like
It does.
So
Yeah.
so powerful. And the other thing that I do recall from the session was yeah, it was like your original code that holds all that abundant. It had that shell and casing, and we had to sort of crack it open
Yes.
and then
Yes.
just recode it through your system. So the more we work with that, and that's where the original template came online. So it's like it's all, I guess the moral of the story is it's been with it, like no one has lost it.
Right.
It
Right.
still resides within us. It's just so deeply buried in all these energetics of false overlays and trauma and all the
Right.
things. We're getting
Right.
to the point where we can crack that original spark back
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And open up so much for, yeah, just, I guess, remembering for our bodies, remembering for our brains,
Mm,
remembering for, I was going to say soul, but our soul already remembers, but our spirit, that part of us that's here. And yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Cindy, but I'm curious if your soul, your higher self, has stuff to share to come through and speak.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. Yep. Let's do
I'm
it.
kind of curious because it's just open a can of thousands of questions in my head.
Okay. Okay. Let me have a drink of this.
Yeah, no, take your time. Because
Yeah.
it's a big impact on the body, and
Hmm. Yeah, and my bot that night, I think I messaged you. I'm like, I feel like I've been hit by a truck. Maybe it was a beer truck. I don't know, but how I feel. It wasn't a beer truck, but yeah, I feel my body recalibrating, and I've had tons of digestion problems and stuff, and I've just been in this space where I've been able to eat more intuitively and eat more what my body
mm,
wants, and it actually wants foods that I'm kind of surprised, like some heavy carbohydrates I try to avoid, but my cravings for sugar have completely gone. So I struggle with that.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been the last few days have been really interesting. So I've just been kind of, letting my body choose what it wants to choose. And I just trust that I'm in the process of my digestive system is recalibrating. And, you know, um, our gut is our brain, really.
totally, totally.
So no irony there at all that that's where that cord is placed.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because that's people talk about the mind virus, and really we are controlled by intrusive and negative thoughts. So if you're going to put it anywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's directly connected to the masculine principle, the masculine energy that has been heavily suppressed on this planet
Yeah.
and been at war and
Yeah.
fighting. And so it's like as that is unraveling and unearthing within each of us, it's bringing power to the sacred masculine energy to come
Yeah.
back within the individual. And that feels really powerful because that's
Yeah, it really does. Well, and we talked a little bit earlier about rage and just really seeing now how being anchored into that false reality has created so much rage on the masculine side. Like,
understandably.
understandably. Yeah. And that's such a source. And then it creates more discord and disharmony and it keeps everything out of balance.
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't even really gone into it, but that main facility that has been the focus of our attention for the
Yeah.
last 6 months has been a predominantly what I call a masculine facility. Like when
Yeah.
I've like walked through psychically or remote viewed through, like the people that have been in that, like most, I mean, I'm sure there's women in there. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's an aspect of us in there, but it's like it feels like the what we've just spoken about, that core has been directly related to that. And I've
Yeah.
noticed that as that's been dismantling, and I've had other beautiful soul sisters, shout out, you know who you are. I'll have her coming on soon, hopefully. that just spontaneously tapped into that, and that blew my mind because I was working on it. And then she's done this to me multiple times. I get a phone call out of the blue going, do you need a hand? Um,
Wow.
and she just knew exactly what I was doing. I was like, oh, can't keep
Wow.
secrets from her. She knows.
Oh my gosh.
So, I'm sure that there's many people that have been working on that because I feel like that was pinnacle. And what I've witnessed directly straight after was a ton of chaos in people's individual lives because it's like the unplugging of it means that there's all this energetic that then gets stirred up
Yes.
because
Yes,
it's a
absolutely.
whole, let's say entrapment energetic piece is being controlled and keeping people in that stuck loop that gets them angry and frustrated, and that just perpetuates more looshing of that energy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it's almost like it gets dispersed, and it's like that's where I think that we're talking about the relationship piece, and it's like those false overlays of what has kept us in something that's not truly aligned to our soul. It's really confronting because all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's all these things that I kind of knew were there, but I couldn't see it so clearly, or it didn't land in
Right.
the body. And now I have to like make all these conscious choices, which can be really overwhelming. So it's
Yes.
like,
Trying to reconcile that within
oh, that's
the
they,
being,
that's the
right?
word. Mm,
Because then it becomes a moment of taking responsibility, and not everybody's prepared to take responsibility for their actions. And
yeah.
yeah, how do you, it's a process to reconcile that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of the information I was told in January when I first discovered it, and then it's been a checking in. Then we got to that point, like the
Yeah.
halfway point, and it started to really dismantle. And I literally saw the immediate results of people who I've seen in those facilities get released, and the impact that it's had in their life. That looks like complete whirlwind of havoc has like streamed through it, but it's actually it's a it's a re give me the words, Cindy.
Well,
It's a
it's a recalibration
yeah. Thank
of
you. Yeah,
what's happening, because the
agree.
battery that's been, so not only as that person serving as a battery, they're also being fed like a battery. So, it's the removing of that energy. Yeah, it's like, oh, now I'm losing the words.
I think this is actually part of the unplugging. I don't know about you, but literally, I mean, normally I'm very clear channel, but I realize there's a lot of recoding and rewiring
Right.
happening in the brain and
I
the
hope so.
consciousness, and words are just flying.
Yeah, I know English, I promise. Yeah.
I can feel it in the energy packets when it hits my body, and I'm just like, whoa. And then I try and translate into words, and
Well, and you had
it will
mentioned
balance
something.
out.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so. You'd mentioned not long ago, just to take us off track just for a second, just if anybody
Sure.
else is experiencing this, you'd mentioned about time loop glitches sort of thing while driving.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I
Mm,
I've lived in the place where I've lived in this city for, I don't know, 30 years. I get to a street and I'm going somewhere and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to get there. Like it's like
mm.
nothing is familiar to me. And I'm like, am I losing my mind? So like my family lives 8 hours away and I've made a few trips to them. I don't recognize the highway I'm driving on. And I have literally done this trip twice a year for 30 years. And I'm like, so where am I? You know, it's discombobulating to
It
say the least.
is. It is.
Am
And I
I,
think
it's that questioning, then it's what's going on with me. And then when you said that, I thought, oh, okay, because I haven't really talked about it because it's, you know, um, oh, it's a little
I can
fearful.
tell you exactly what that is. And I hadn't even put two and two together because I'm in a different location. So for me, I don't know these roads.
Right.
I have to rely on a GPS. Like I have no other, but I know exactly what it is. Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought this up. When I had that experience when I tipped into the organic, new reality a couple of years ago, it was so discombobulating and confusing for me because I'm one of those people. I have a very good sense of direction. Take me there once and I will get there 1,000 times without
Okay.
needing any GPS. Like that's just sort of how I've
Okay.
been. I used to we in Australia, or in Victoria where I'm from, we have the big books that we used to have, with the maps.
Yes. Yeah.
They're called Melways, because
Okay.
Melbourne Melways. So it's like, that big thick book where you
Yeah.
I'm like a walking Melways,
Are you
or at
really?
least I used to be,
Oh my
like
God.
when I had that experience, I don't know where I was
Oh my gosh.
more often than not, which was totally um like unnerving for me.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? All the
What? Tell me.
false overlays,
Oh, right.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, oh
Oh,
my
I have
God.
goosebumps. Holy. Because this has been happening for me on and off for about a year, where it's just like,
Yeah,
but I should know this road. Why don't I know this road?
because you
And
know it
yeah,
in that version or those
version,
versions.
of course, of course.
It's almost like a marker to know that you're shifting into the new.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No
Crazy.
wonder. That's great.
It's
I'm glad you
wild.
brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to talk to you about this because am I losing
You
my
know,
mind? Yeah. Is this menopause? Like, is this what this does? I don't know.
no, this is as my higher self said very wisely many, many years ago, you actually have to lose your mind to gain a higher state of
Yeah,
consciousness. And I think
yeah,
that's probably, if you're having like words falling out of your head, and like, I think that's a part of this extraction thing that's happening, is a recalibration, because our mind and our eyes process how we view perception, reality. So you can
right.
imagine now, if that's being removed, that's, I don't know, I've had a lot of eye stuff going on of late, a lot of head stuff, and I think it's actually part of the recalibration. I've been not kind of freaking out, going, oh, it's like, no,
Yeah,
it's just part of what's
yeah,
the unraveling, like you said with the digest. It's like, as we get removed, our biology, our physiology is changing. It's back
right.
to its organic
Yeah,
state.
yeah. I know because like so, it mostly happens when I'm alone, but I just think like I should know where I'm at. It's a real confusing, yeah, discombobulating. That's the only word
Yeah.
that suits it for me. I'm just like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. The trip home, the first trip I made back to my family when I didn't recognize the highways, and the markers and stuff, I was thought, okay, this is it. Like, this is what this means to start to lose your memory, I guess. But, oh, okay. All right.
It would have, yeah, I can imagine how unsettling that would have been. But no, I think that's, I mean, I look around at, a lot of people, even people older, who it could be, and I was like, no, I know this is timeline
Right.
and time
Yeah.
morphing, dilating,
Yeah.
jumping
Yeah.
around, and our minds who've known very linear are trying to go quantum, and it's going
Yeah.
to take a while to adjust. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm glad I brought that up.
Yeah, me too.
And
Did you did you feel like you wanted to, like, yeah,
yeah, let's do it.
cool. All right. I'll give you as much time as you need. Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, no, we're good.
Oh, just wow, opening the space and welcoming in Cindy's higher self, and thanking for being present, and anything that you feel is relevant that we haven't covered that you'd like to share that we may not be privy to or just yet. Just to, yeah, welcome the space in.
Thank you. Just the discussion about the work that you've been doing since January and the dismantling of these pods, which, we've talked about being primarily male. Just want to bring into the fact that um, the feminine component of that is intertwined into these pods that are being released. So when you're doing the work inside these pods, these ships, this dimensional work, just know that the female component that's being released from that is allowing for the females to be able to be released from the pods. We're just talking physiologically here, male, female, dominant energy. Um, so the interweaving and the the context of what is doing is so much huger than what is even being shown, which is with everything. There's just complex layers, but it's a complete collapsing of a system that has been had such a stronghold on humanity.
Wow. Thank you. That just like blasted everything wide open. And thank you for highlighting, the feminine component, how it's interlaced. Is there any more to share about how this is going to impact relationship breakups, breakdowns, breakthroughs? Is this
This brings people more into their authenticity. They're more of really analyzing to see if in a sacred relationship, not even a sacred relationship, all relationships are sacred because everybody that we're drawn to has something to show us. But the template of a sacred relationship, this will allow for the opening within individuals to meet themselves in their own authenticity to be able to meet somebody else. And so, will it have a ripple effect on relationships that are currently existing? Absolutely. Does that mean that that's the end of partnerships? Not in every case. It's a transformation in some cases of people who are meant to be together to co-create in this world. A transformation and a morphing. And of course, in some relationships, it's going to be more visible than in others. But people who are meeting themselves at this authentic part, if they are open to that sacred connection in that sacred relationship context, that is so available to them. But it isn't about, and as we know, we are individuals that are able to exist alone, but we also know what that love frequency that is created by a sacred partnership, two people, what that creates and how that builds more creation. So it's opening the way for the removal of the distorted field that you spoke about, one of those 21 distorted fields, and it's allowing for the removal and the opening up of that. And we have to understand that relationships affect every part of our lives. So this sacred relationship template is actually woven through all of the distortion. So it is beginning to crumble and to allow people to come into their own authenticity, to be met with authenticity. And of course, when we're in our own authenticity, that is the energy that we attract, that partnership energy. So it's relationship is also not in the terms of only romantic relationship, but in our friendships and our other connections to be able to open us to a host of all new sacred relationship templates.
wow. Thank you. I feel the resonance of what you just pulled through and what you shared, the energy that's available and coming through. Is there anything you'd like to share about the core plug or the prosperity piece that we haven't covered? Is there anything?
I think in some respects, um, hearing this might cause this experience might
Mhm.
cause a little bit of panic,
Mhm.
just and fear of people believing that that isn't available to them. And
Yeah.
as as this moves through and resonates, and as this is happening on such a higher level, we have to know that this is available to everybody, and sometimes it just happens in a completely organic way. The just jumping ahead to the next generation that's coming in, the
Mm,
dismantling of this just prevents the next souls from being entrapped in this energy. And so when these new souls land, when this baby comes in with this pure energy without being hijacked, we have to remember the ripple that this also creates within humanity. So we think of this sometimes as an inside job, and it is an inside job, but it is also an outside job as well. Things are happening in such relation to each other that it's really, really beautiful. And sometimes the cord can be partially removed to allow for that frequency to come in. It isn't always necessarily immediately available for everybody to have this cord removed just because of the turbulence that it can create physically. There's always an integration period of this happening. But yeah, the the ability, the forces that have been able to create these structures are also being dismantled. So as that side of things are being dismantled, it also releases the hold on the cord that is attached to the individuals, which is most that have their true prosperity blocked.
wow, thank you. Um, is there more you can share or speak to about the souls coming in? You just touched on that and lit me up. Is there more that wants to be expressed around, incarnating souls and anything
Um,
around that, I guess?
yeah, just the souls that are coming in, you have to know that it's almost described as a lineup of those wanting to come make a difference here in this planet. And don't ever underestimate the beauty of fresh energy entering the planet
Yeah.
and the possibility in that and holding the highest possibility and frequency of what is available to new energy is also available to older energy or established energy.
Mm-hmm.
I will say also the veil is much lessened for new souls that are coming in. Not necessarily not in all cases, just but the veil is absolutely lessened.
Mm, beautiful. Oh my God. And thank you. Thank you. And is there anything else before we close up that you wish to express that we haven't touched on that's important for people to know, or anything that may be important over the transpiring next couple of months? Or
Well, we talk about the energy that comes in and the intensity of it. And the biggest message here is just to remember to ride the waves that and to appreciate the contrast of what you perceive as negative. Appreciate the contrast because that's showing you, well, when you move back into the light, that is showing you what the light actually means. So we often as humans, there's talk about how bad the bad is, but in that there is contrast and there's contrast being shown to you in those waves of energy that are coming in and causing what you perceive to be as difficult times. And
mm,
so remember that that is only there to show you the lighter side. And so there's
mm,
going to be energy waves that are coming in just because so much more energy is being coming into your body, your soul, your heart, your whole being, and to know that there is going to be waves and accept those waves. And if there's any point or any part of you that can actually find the gratitude in the contrast, that helps the wave subside. And it also
mm,
helps the further incoming waves to be less.
mm,
We always talk about gratitude for the good things, but sometimes we have to look, and even if it's after the fact, the gratitude of what that higher wave that seemed insurmountable that you actually passed through, find the gratitude for that. And even if it's just gratitude for the contrast that that showed you and not the actual event, that will lessen the waves, lessen the intensity, and lessen your density overall.
Mm. Yeah. Wow. Wise, profound words. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
So appreciate you coming and sharing. This has just been lovely to hold space or share space with you in this way, and to share, bring through the wisdom that will be really helpful and valuable to others.
Mhm. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for creating such an open, welcoming, wonderful space to be able to step forward and share. Oh, I'm coming back. There we are. Woo.
Thank
Yay.
you. Thank you, Cindy. I always love when your soul steps in and
Yeah.
speaks.
I'm gonna have to watch back because I don't know what I said.
It was so encoded. It was like, yeah, it was the words, but it was the energy too.
Yeah,
So it's,
beautiful. Good. Yeah.
oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say before we go that I'm running a special up into the gathering on my sessions. So it is $25 off every session. And so we can go into pod exploration and pod removal if anybody is interested in that. And I'd love to be able to offer that to people. So yeah, there'll be a promo code on my website, um, just gathering. And yeah, and so for yeah, $25 off any session. Anybody who's in the States, I'm this Canadian fund, so anybody who's in the States, our dollar's a lot worse than yours. So
Yeah, it
just
makes it
saying.
even more affordable. Yeah, people say
Yeah,
that with the Australian dollar because I think we're on par.
yeah,
Yeah,
we are. We
they get a
are.
really good deal though.
Yeah. And some of my times look limited on my website, but always feel free to fill out the contact page because, times come available. So if there's something
Yeah,
that isn't working and you want to have a
yeah,
session, send me a message through my website
yeah.
and I can see what I can do. So,
Oh, fabulous. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm excited that you're offering. I'm going to get myself one because I always need an extra pair of eyes to have a
yeah,
look in. I highly recommend working with Cindy. She's really fabulous at what she does. So, and I love that, just helping people get clear
yeah,
into popping into, whatever pod exploration, like Cindy,
yeah,
bang on.
yeah,
Up until, I think this is the time now, between now and the gathering, whether you're coming or not, but that
yeah,
pivotal moment, just to be as clear as possible to catch what, all we've spoken about coming in,
yeah.
having that support, really, really powerful. So thank you for your wisdom today. Thank you for your offerings. All the details will be in the description box where you can connect with Cindy and make the most of that promo, that very generous offering that you're in inviting people to come and connect with.
Thank
So
you.
thank you, Cindy. This has been absolutely profound. I look forward to the next installment and update.
I do
Um,
too. Always a pleasure. I love it. Oh,
and yeah, connect with myself, Cindy. All the details will be for the gathering for Cindy's work. I will be hosting a soul activation on the 14th, that will be around similar themes of this work. So if you want to come and join that, but we're in such monumental times. So
yeah, aren't we? It's beautiful.
thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll be back again. I'd love to hear in the comment section below anything that has come through
Yeah,
for you just watching this, or any questions that you might have for our next video. So, much
great.
love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Okay, bye.
Bye.